You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Hello, all. Welcome to the Nerds Podcast. We are excited to actually talk about something that translates from video games to a show. As you probably already know this, the nerds are actually excited about movies and games all together into one. And as we actually transition into The Last of Us, season one already had just passed. That's actually last year's. We have just found out about, of course, this Sunday, we saw The Last of Us. We're here to review that. And again, only because of the fact remains is that it was a video game. It's a hot thing. The show is phenomenal. I enjoyed season one. And I just want to ask you guys real quickly, did you enjoy the first season of The Last of Us? And I'll start with Pete. Tell me just real quickly what you thought of the last season going into now what we know to be season two.
Absolutely. Love the first season. Just following their journey, and the one thing that was just stood out for me from season one was, I believe, was episode 3, about the couple. Super, just a very deep episode regarding that relationship. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about it, but it just got you to think about purpose, about your purpose in life, your purpose with a loved one. That to me was just like, wow. Like, and I didn't listen, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play the game, but I'm completely I'm into the series. And this one got off with a bang as well. They picked up where they left off. Just great all around series, and I'm excited for this season 2.
Cole, I know that this was a binge watching for you when you came to The Last of Us. Tell me what you thought as you're. This is probably fresher for you than the rest of us.
I think binging it was worth it because after the end of every episode, you just want to see what happens next and the journey that Joel takes, or Joe. That we don't know what they call him, right? So, yeah, binging it was great. So watching it straight through, it was a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed 1. The game was actually really good. I only got to the museum part. Once I got to the museum part in the video game, I was like, this is too much. And I quit. But watching the show, it was cool binging it because I felt like I was actually playing the game. And I thought that was really cool with part 1. And I saw like clips of side to side when they were going verbatim. And I thought that was really, really dope about season 1. Story-wise, it's awesome. It gives you an opportunity to choose what is it that you what you want to do. The choice is yours. You can go this way or that way. And for season 1, I like the approach to it. And I'm curious to know what they're going to do in season 2.
No, very similar to the video game. I like that they don't steer away too much away from the story. I know there are some new things that we've seen already that are not kind of like to the game identical, but they did a couple of things. And Pete's right. For season 2 opener, they took us right where we left off, right? And it's pretty much Joe was sticking to the lie about the fireflies and others like her, right? He tells her that there are others like her, that they are no longer looking for a cure in a sense. And I think Ellie also kind of knows that he's lying, which causes the friction between the two of them. So let me ask Pete this question. Do you think Joe should continue to lie to Ellie about this whole firefly situation?
No. It sucks because Like, we've spoken about Pascal before on here, and you don't necessarily have to be an award-winning actor
Mm-mm.
to be a great actor. And you just felt the hurt in this guy in this first episode. Like, so bad for this dude. Like, and when he's at the psychiatrist and says, "I saved her," and like that shit to me was just crazy. I felt bad for him, but he made deep down know, listen, she's being like this the way she is because she knows I'm lying. So yeah,
Yo,
it was it was it, phew, yeah. He should just come clean, rip off the band-aid so maybe he can get to, get back to where they were. And because just actor wise, they have great chemistry, and you can see it. You can see it here in his performance in just the first episode. So, but yeah, going back to answer your question, I think he should.
I
So
want
then,
to jump on that because
yeah,
that scene was very good and emotional, especially like when Pete pointed out when the psychiatrist said, "Yeah, you killed my husband." I'm like, "Oh shoot, I didn't know that." So that kind of threw me off. Like, damn, this lie is getting even deeper and affecting more people than just him, the relationship with him and his girl,
yeah, because in the video game,
or
so
not
this,
his daughter.
yeah,
Sorry.
well, in the video game, actually, the guy that he kills, that is her husband, is a Firefly. So more than likely, he might have killed her husband when he brought back Ellie. I think in her knowing that Ellie was coming back, her husband didn't survive whatever they came back from. But I do agree with you. I think that scene with the psychiatrist was super powerful, and I'll dive into that. But Cole, let me ask you, right? So we
What's
get
up?
these fireflies that are left, right? They're the remaining fireflies. There's for the most part, there's a mass grave with a whole bunch of things there, and we're introduced to Abby. And
Yes.
Abby's really important in part two of the video game. We actually
Hmm.
play as her as well. But do you think that the hunt for Joel, that this bloodlust that she's on right now, does it really make sense? Even after he killed so many of them, that these five fireflies are we're gonna go after that guy, the guy that killed all these people. We're gonna go after that guy. Does that even make sense to you?
Yes, it makes total sense to me. And
Please.
uh, well, I, are we spoiler free? Are we giving out spoilers?
No,
Talk to
let's
me.
go into this. People are gonna watch this because they want to know. They want to know what the hell is going on in this episode. And I think you have some clarity behind what I just asked you.
I do, because from what I'm seeing with the video game, if they stick to that same program, then Abby's one of the fireflies that went down. It's not only just the fireflies, but Abby is the daughter to the doctor he killed to save Ellie. So that right there, yeah, she wants revenge. In season one, like I'm watching it just to get a feel of what this is about. And I noticed that the more you love, and I think the writers and directors talked about this, the more you love in this show, the worse it's going to be for you. The more you care about anything. It's all about survival in this. So, yeah, I definitely see it happening. And I feel that Abby's going off for just straight revenge. And just like in season one with the lady that I think her brother died, and then she was going after the kid that had the brother that was deaf. That was cool. And I'm looking at that lady like, yo, I see you're so angry, but we need to survive. And what ends up happening is, she gets I think one of the creatures ended up getting her. So with Abby, since you get to play her in the game, yeah, that's something very big that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm very curious of how this Abby storyline is gonna kind of set us up in especially of how they get into the town. And there's so many things happening within the town as well that we'll get into as well. But I want to ask, I like that you brought that up, Cole, because I'm going to ask Peter a follow-up question to what you just said is, do you think Joel was selfish in killing the doctors? And because he might have been more obsessed with saving another daughter because he lost his daughter, of course, in season 1. But because he's so obsessed of keeping this daughter, not losing another daughter, he might have shot humanity in the foot. So do you still think that Joel is the hero in this?
Well, put yourself in his shoes. He gets into that room and she's on an operating table tied down. I don't, listen, we can, in hindsight say, oh yeah, was he wrong? But I mean, I know it's a show, but think about the character in that position. And you guys have been on this journey, for who knows how long. So yeah, he saved her. And I don't think was he thinking about humanity or looking at the fact that they got this girl tied to a bed and they're about to operate on her? No, I don't think I'm sure he wasn't concerned with humanity, and I don't think he should have been. He should have been concerned with saving his partner, who they were partners in this. They were rocking together. And if he had if he kind of had some link between his daughter that he lost and her, that's obviously understandable, being that what he witnessed, but and then what he's gone through with her. So he's shooting humanity in the foot. Oh well, you could talk about it after the fact, but look what was in front of his face. Nah, man, I don't think anything was he did. I don't think he did anything wrong.
And everything went great, right? He ended up taking.
Yeah,
Pete.
I'm sorry. Is he going to pay for it now, or is he? Yeah, I guess. But look, in the heat of the moment, it wasn't like everything was cool. It was a tense moment, and then look what he walked in on.
He wasn't having.
I think he did what he felt he had to do. I'm done.
Yeah, it would be hard to stop any of you guys if you guys got into Papa Bear mode.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Cole, you were gonna say something about that.
I forgot.
All right. Well, then let me ask you, right? So then we kind of see that all at the beginning, right? The Fireflies, and then we jump 5 years later. And Abby right now is doing some combat training. And we meet, I think this guy's name is Jesse, who's Ellie's friend and Dina's ex-boyfriend. I find out later in the episode. And she gets tight that he told the guy that she was fighting to pull his punches. And again, this has to do with Joel. That's right? Because he's got scared that Joel might get at him if Ellie shows up bruised up. Why do you think she's so upset at this point in time, right? We're 5 years down the road. I guess she's carrying this anger for the last 5 years, and she's just doing combat training, and she gets upset that the guy didn't break her nose. Explain it to me.
I think if you was watching the psychiatrist scene, it's obvious she's a teenager. I'm going with that. That's just how it is, I mean, I see that in real life, and then watching this in the show, it goes together. So she's upset. She's been upset since the minute I met that character, all the way through. And it was just that one time when Joe came and saved them because of the church scene. That was wild. Let's not even get into that. But yeah, man.
The funny thing is, I look at this stuff, I see how much I think Joel controls her. And like you said, teenagers hate to be controlled in general. They do like to have their own opinions about things because they're young adults. And, from Joe lying to her to asking these guys to pull their punches. I think there's a part where he's talking to his brother about pulling her off patrol. I think he's trying to control so much, and Allie's feeling those constraints.
But that's not his fault, though, right? That's how I see it. It's not his fault. That's who he is. That's who he's been, and they've been surviving together. That's why she knows him. She knows who he is. She got upset when he jumped in when the guy called her a dyke. So it was like, you're all in my business. That's teenager stuff. And we all been adolescents, went through puberty in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
So
listen,
I totally get it. And actually, it breaks my heart because I'm seeing him in the porch with the guitar, and she's coming through, and you can see a little excitement that, oh, you're going to come and sit and talk to me? Nah, she went right back to the thing. And,
she wasn't feeling him at all. She wasn't feeling him at
oh,
all. Let me ask you a core question. And why do you think when they were talking and he was fixing the breaker thing, Joel was, that he felt confident enough to tell Dinah that he was going to therapy? Why do you think he felt with her he could say that?
he said that because he said that in therapy. He was like, this one, she treats me like a human being. So now it's this big confliction in his head. So Pete earlier was talking about, he saw the girl on the operating table, and he did what he did. He killed all the fireflies, killed the doctor, saved the girl, made that decision. But what about the other side of that? We're trying to save humanity now. And I get it when it comes to that's what's dope about this show, that you're able to make a choice, and there's two sides to it.
Yeah, I think you question a lot of their choices as they go about things.
Yeah.
And talking about choices, Pete, there was a scene where they're practicing their sniping skill set, right? And she hits one on the head. She gets another one, but doesn't kill them completely. But the brother, I forget the brother's name at this time, so forgive me for doing that. Tommy, and again, Tommy goes back and lies to Joel, his own brother, about Ellie. Where in the game he actually goes to Joel with Ellie to tell her that they were shooting. So they're going with the different script here, away from the game on this portion. But why do you think Tommy had to lie to his brother about taking Elle out just to practice shooting?
Well, based off the conversation, remember, he was telling her that she was being pulled off patrol, that she was going to be at the gate, and they had a conversation about that. And she kind of talked her way back into being on patrol. So I guess to avoid any type of conversation with Joel about it, he just said, "You know what? Yeah, I was by myself." As to without putting her in the situation, he don't have to have another conversation about it. I guess he just didn't want to have that conversation with his brother, so he just said, "You know what? I was by myself." Because it would have been it would have got a whole other conversation started if he said he was with her. Being how overprotective we see that he's
Joel
being
is,
with
yeah.
her.
Yeah. Do you think, Pete, that he's being overprotective? I mean, she says it, right? She screams it out. I'm immune. I'm immune. She's yelling to the world, where I guess Tommy, him, are keeping this a secret. Why should he be concerned about her if, one, she's practicing how to shoot and she's immune? Why do you think he's so concerned?
Just because she's immune still doesn't mean that she can't die. Not, of course, not by a bite, but she can die any other way. Like, look, she fell through the floor when they went into that house, whatever it was. And I thought maybe she broke something when she fell. And she was like, nothing's broken. I was like, oh, she's lucky. But she still couldn't get up. But, I think she's being, and I know she's a teenager, and I think we all kind of touched on that. But, like, she's being reckless. She's being reckless. And, he doesn't, of course, I don't think he's being overprotective. He's being protective of her. Again, I look at them as partners. Look at everything they've been through. And not just because he saved her, but like she actually, saved him too. So I don't think he's being overprotective, but again, she's a teenager and she wants to spread her wings, which I think we all understand that, we all get that part. But overprotective, no, but protective, yeah, I think he is. But I don't think there's anything wrong with what he's doing, to be quite honest.
No, I definitely agree with you on that one. That one, I'm on the same page with you. But then now this takes us to the therapy session that we actually talked about, which I thought was probably the best scene in this show. The honesty that Gail, who's the therapist, gives Pedro Pascal, Joel in the scene, man, like I'm gonna ask you, Cole, on this one. Did you feel her pain when she was talking about her husband and how she felt about Joe? How she said, "I hate you," and she still is willing to help him even past this hate with the simple payment of a bag of weed, which she seems upset about. Like she felt like it should have been more. I guess therapy sessions in this era are costing a lot of money here. But take me what you thought about that banter between him and Gail.
The actress was in a 80s sitcom, right? Because I
Not a
recognize her
sitcom. You're
face.
close. You're
Am
close.
I? Because
Yep, yep,
this is
yeah.
all
You
freestyle, guys. I'm not Googling anything. I'm
no, no,
trying
no.
to
You know it
remember.
since you brought up the 80s. You know it. I'm gonna coach you. I wanna get you
Put
there.
me on.
So I'm gonna say one thing. Kevin.
Oh, that's it. That's his mom.
Is that a good clue, Puma?
That was a guy.
Maybe.
That's his mom. That's Kevin's mom.
Nah, I give
Oh,
up.
there's two actually. There's two. So
Well,
I'll
that's
say
the mom
one.
from Kevin.
Okay. You gave it away. I was gonna give. There's another one though.
Oh, Home Alone.
Okay. There's
Yes.
another one
Yes.
though. There's another one. Say his name 3 times.
Candyman.
Oh, good one, but no.
Bloody Mary.
Oh, get out. No, not that one.
So,
Beetlejuice.
oh.
Oh, yeah, she was a Beetlejuice. She was a Beetlejuice.
Oh, and
Yeah.
she was in Beetlejuice too. I love when we open up Pete's soapbox. Loving it.
Please
So
Google. We got Pete.
I like no, but it's fun. This is the fun part about it. This is what how we rock. I like that he noticed, he turned around, Joel turned around and said, "You've been drinking all day." so so I was like, okay, where's this going? And I love to see, like, I like to be surprised. This is why I don't like spoilers too much, because that's like my favorite part of watching a show, a movie, or anything. And when with her confessing, with allowing Joel to come in and help him throughout whatever he's going through, which we all know what he's going through. That scene alone, I mean, yeah, it was just really, really good. It was really good to see those. Again, another good actress. She's been around for a while. Part of me, you know what I'm saying? But uh, the whole scene was a point where I was just trying to say, when you love in this world, and if she gives sympathy to Joel, it might bite her back. And that's the vibes I get with The Last of Us.
No, I think that you're hitting the nail on the head. Exactly what it is. This is going to show love and its agony all into one big ball of fire. So Pete, in that same scene, right? Joe has an opportunity to kind of tell Gail about Ellie, and he also doesn't want to admit everybody he killed in that hospital. So I guess that tear. Do you think it's regret? What do you think that tear coming down his face as he's holding back Ellie's secret, talking about what he did? Because the point of the therapy is to kind of let it out, but he still doesn't let it out. What do you think that tear is? Is it regret? Is it sadness? Is it I'm happy that I'm actually here? What do you think those
To
tears are?
me, it's not happiness. To me, it's hurt because she's not with me the way she was. It's hurt. To me, it's hurt. It's nothing else.
No,
And like she said, I'm
again,
sorry,
no,
and like she said, like the therapist said, what, she's acting like a 19-year-old girl. Exactly. Again, this is nothing really out of the ordinary. But I think I guess he feels like for what he did, they wouldn't have drifted apart. They would have gotten closer.
Mm. Do you think if he admits he did all that killing, that he's the villain, Cole? If he admits that he killed all those people to
I
a
mean,
therapist.
yes, absolutely. They'll go for his head. In this world, you know, you're telling me that we're barely surviving and we have an opportunity to find a cure? Yeah, absolutely.
So, Cole, tell me about. Are you liking Ellie and Dinah's relationship?
I'm glad you
Because they,
brought
they
that
they
up.
go on patrol. Are you liking that relationship between the two of them?
I'm digging it
Okay,
because
talk to me.
because it's again survival. Look, this is what we have. They're not gonna play, music that we know. They were playing with instruments and dancing and making light, like the celebration. New Year's is starting, right? We adjourned. That was cool. Like the whole setup of the community. It's been 5 years later. And in my mind, I was like, damn, I would love to survive those 5 years. Those 5 years, I feel like they'll feel like 15 years for me because I'm trying to be in super survival mode. Let's not forget like what's really going on in the world, the pandemic. So yeah. Sorry, y'all, but I jump in. I get emotionally into it. I
No,
get
I love it.
into it.
I
I
love
put myself into it. I'm a nerd for real.
it. Pete, were you okay with Ellie and Dinah not listening kind of to that leadership and just said, "Yo, we're on patrol. We're gonna go ahead." Were you okay with that move?
No, the guy who kind of set up the group said, guys, all joking aside, start taking this shit seriously. And they haven't. And they haven't. And you know what? There's gonna be a lot of boo-hooing if God forbid one of them gets hurt. Because they're not following orders. They assigned the leader to the group and they completely disregarded anything the leader said. So then, what the hell are we doing here then? You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, are we going to tiptoe around the fact that she's just doing whatever she wants because she's Joel's daughter? It's not cool at all. I don't think so, especially in this type of situation. I get it. The secret only Joel and his brother know, but let's not be dumb with her friend either because she's not immune. So let's not be stupid. I get it that they're kids, but maybe you're putting too much trust into kids then.
P, I'm gonna go back to you on this question. As they leave and they're going inside this building, she uses a beer bottle to distract the cordyceps. She jumps on him. She starts knifing him. Like, take me as I thought that she would just kill him, right? Just shoot. But she pulls out a knife and starts jigging him like there's no tomorrow. I did not see that coming. I usually would think that they would shoot to stay away from this, but I guess Ellie, who's comfortable knowing that she's immune, just jumps on him. What did you think when you saw that?
It could be what you just said, that she feels kind of invincible because she's immune, but they also see it as a game or like a sport. And you see when before they went around the corner and made their moves, they were kind of like joking around with the knives and stuff. So they're not taking this too seriously, it looks like. I think she did it that way, maybe just to kill one a different way. She shot one earlier in the episode. She killed one with a gun earlier in the episode, and now she said, you know what? Let me do it this way. Again, they're young, and they're extremely daring. But I think it's stupidity, to be quite honest. It's recklessness to me, and I get it. It's a show, but when I'm watching it, I look at it as, you know what? If you're going to trust them to be out there, they should be a little bit more responsible than what they've shown in this first episode.
And then we get this second zombie when she falls down, right? And I think they're called stalkers in the game, where they're very kind of they don't kind of give up that high clicking sound that the other ones were giving off. Were you like shocked the way that other cordyceps was moving?
No, I wasn't shocked. I actually loved it. Evolution, right? So I had this conversation with my family. And I'll ask you guys, out of all the zombie movies, right, called Dead, World War Z, um, Resident Evil, this, which one you feel you will survive the most? And when I saw that creature evolve and was more tactical, I said, okay, I won't survive in this one. That is for damn sure. So I thought it was pretty cool. And then also I just want to add, I know it's only the first one, but I did see glimpses of the crawlers, I mean the walkers or all those other creatures that's coming in the snow, and I can't wait for that part. So
Oh yeah, the trailer that you're talking about, the trailer, what they showed, man, it looks
yeah,
very scary, right?
you see the
Very scary.
clickers, you see the bombers, right? Like Tommy
Oh,
got the flamethrower. He's, I'm waiting for that part. So, but with this is cool because now what you gonna do? Because according to what they learned, it could grow in a warm climate, but they're up there in the snow. So how are these clickers able to come and still be functional and coming after them in the snow? I'm curious to know about that. And also the ending with the pipe. I knew when they broke the pipe. I was like, you giving an opening for this fun guy. So
well,
again.
yeah, and I think they said their network runs miles. So once I think they figure out that all those people are there, it's like it'll be lunchtime for the cordyceps. Ellie getting bit, P. Do you think that that gives her more courage, knowing that she got bit, even though she tried to hide it, scarring herself out? Does this now give Ellie a little bit more confidence in wanting to go out and do different things?
I don't see how she could have more confidence because she's pretty much doing whatever she wants. She was yelling that she's immune, going against orders, and again, like, is she worried? She's not worried about anything, any type of repercussions, and not from outside, not by getting hurt, but just by within the community that she's in. Look, she talked her way off the wall. She's not worried about them taking her off the wall because look, she putting her on the wall because she talked her way out of it and still ended up on patrol. Got her, well, got put herself in a situation where she got bit, and and they believed her, and it's like nothing. Let's forget the fact that she disobeyed orders. So yeah, I think she really has the battery in her back now.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I saw her bite. I was like, man, she's gonna get bit again, survive a bite. She's gonna think that she's definitely invincible, and maybe maybe he does. Mark's gonna come through anytime soon. Carl, let me ask you, do you think that Ellie could have defended herself when the guy did call her a dyke? Did Joe need to step in?
Man, yeah, of course. That's clear as day. Since her mom gave her that knife, she's been ready for war. She's a warrior. There's no
Why do you
doubt.
think Joe stepped in then?
Because Joe is confused on how to react towards her, right? Because Joe wants a certain emotion. He wants her to thank him for saving her without him telling her the truth that he didn't save her. Right? So, trying to step in and, being a father or protector and a partner, like Pete was saying, you want to be there for that person. At the same time, sometimes people need their space, and he's not coming to grips with that. And it's to be honest with you, which I think is I like it because it's so realistic. Joe himself knows he's guilty of something. After he spoke on therapy, he still didn't confess. He came out and said something else, which was true as well, but he's not letting that part out of him. he himself is badly wants to have a relationship with her. And for the moment, you want to show true love, you just give that person some space, and they'll come back.
And I'll end this show today with the same question to both of you, and I think Pete did a really good job of setting the tone for it. But with the cordyceps now in the pipes, they have parties, they're going on hunting trips, they are comfortable, like Pete is saying. Um, this is gonna bite them in the butt that they're that comfortable. They're having parties. I remember The Walking Dead. One of the best scenes was when Rick in The Walking Dead goes into this town, and it's kind of the same thing. They have a beautiful setup. They're partying. They're doing dinners at each other's houses, and Rick is like, "You guys are insane. You're acting like this should be normal now. No, keep your guard up." And I see the exact same thing with this. I'll start with Cole and with Pete on this. Are they too comfortable at this point in time, 5 years outside of, I guess, this apocalypse?
I'll tell you right now, we have to live the life that we got. I say no, they're not too comfortable. I think they well organized, even though they're low on people. You know, you got teenagers going on patrols, but I think they're, as a community, they very well organized. The scene with them in the courtroom, I thought that was cool. I was like, wow, this is they're creating their own government. You gotta, they're trying to live. They got walls, fortresses. They go on patrol. They got ammo, food, water. Yes, I think you should at least live a little comfortable because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Pete?
I mean, maybe, trying to make the best out of a situation. I understand the reference you made with Rick in The Walking Dead, saying, you're acting like this is the norm now, but, so are we supposed to live the rest of our lives? Like, listen, if we can have a little glimpse of fun in this time that we're in right now, why not? They've worked hard. They're building all the time to let new people in. Like Cole said, they got a perimeter set up. They're safe now. Did they get sloppy? Yeah. If by breaking that pipe and not doing anything to kind of secure themselves or secure that, that no one saw that could possibly be a way in, is being sloppy. But you have to live your life. You have to live your life, and maybe they're doing that to maintain some sanity. Maybe they're going to, the opposite of what Rick is saying. Rick they can think Rick is crazy because you know what? Look, we're safe. You know what I mean? You're the paranoid one. You're the weirdo. You know what I mean? That people are going to look at it whichever way they want to look at it. So if people want to party and have sex and do whatever, they're going to do it. People are going to do whatever they want to do, regardless of what anybody says. So if they're going to party while there's apocalypse on the other side of the wall that they've built, then they're going to do it. Look, this therapist is smoking weed and admitting to her patient that she hates him because he killed her husband. Mm-hmm. There's so much going on that, you know what? Let these people have fun if that's what they want to do. If they want to be miserable and sulk, let them do that too. But let everybody be, dictate what they're going to do on their own with their own lives.
So we end this episode with Abby on the approach of coming into or looking at the community from a distance. I'm looking forward to see how that boils down. I thought it was a great way to enter from ending of season 1 into season 2. Right, it flowed very, very smooth. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you guys for reviewing episode 1 of season 2 of The Last of Us with us. We look forward to reviewing this show and seeing how it actually differentiates from the game, differentiates from everything we've ever seen before when it comes to The Last of Us. I'm super excited. I know the team is. Want to thank everyone. Please like, please subscribe if you're enjoying the show. We look forward to much more subscribers as we're on our road to 200. I couldn't believe that we're even saying this, but thank you, everybody. For Pete, for Co, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
We will return.